Hello everyone, my name is Caleb and welcome to the Unfiltered podcast. In this series, I'll be sitting down with some of the most inspiring young leaders. I'll be interviewing the behind the scenes of these successful advisors. If you're someone who's curious to understand what goes behind the scenes for these successful advisors, or if you're someone looking for a potential career switch, this series is for you. Let's dive in. Hi everyone, in today's episode, I've invited Ryan, who's a Year 3 BA student in NUS. He's also a student advisor who leads a team of 6. In his first full year as a student advisor, he has achieved his MDRT accolade, and since then, he has also worked with a wide range of clients, from students to young professionals and to even pre-retirees. Welcome to the podcast, Ryan.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so in this series, you're the only advisor from a quote-unquote a well-known school, which is Raffles Institution. Could you share with us a bit more about how it was like for you growing up in RI?
Well, I think going into RI, it was a very tough journey. Yeah, not many people know, but actually relative to my peers in RI, I didn't get in through the normal method. Yeah, so relative to everyone else in my cohort, I actually scored a relative to them, I scored a lower PSLE score than the rest. Yeah, so as I got in year 1, I felt a sense of inferiority complex. Yeah, because I came from a neighborhood primary school and a lot of my friends were all like Chinese Pai. So end up, I myself also spoke a lot of Chinese and my English wasn't very fluent. Yeah, so I got in through what they call nepotism, and I got through an appeal process such that, compared to my peers, I actually wasn't the brightest of them. Yeah, and so during the first week of school, I would hear my peers, comparing PSLE scores, some of them speaking in fluent English, even like some with accent on.
Okay, imagine the accent.
Yeah, so I wasn't very comfortable and I felt, wow, I really didn't belong here. And I remember back in secondary 1, I was doing so badly because I just wanted to change schools and I had no interest being in RI at all. And by the end of year 1, my GPA out of 4 was 1.6.
How do you get 1.6?
Yeah, and 1.6, right, surprisingly was the bare minimum that you could have to go to secondary 2, yeah.
So what if you scored lower than 1.6? What happened?
I think if I did score lower than 1.6, I wouldn't be in RI anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
They'll kick you out?
I would retain, but most likely I would change schools because initially I wasn't even feeling very comfortable in the first place. Yeah, and I think that was my mindset going into RI, which was that, I didn't belong here and I wanted to change back to the school that I was previously from. Yeah, because I got in through the appeal process.
Yeah.
And yeah, so for the first 2 years in my secondary school days, I was just playing around. I didn't bother about my schoolwork. But I think by the end of year 2, I saw that my friends and my peers had some sense of identity and they had sort of a sensing of what they wanted to do in the future.
Yep.
And I decided I should start locking in. Yeah, and so year 3, year 4, I decided to, even though I was so far behind, I wanted to prove to myself that actually, compared to these people, right, I could also do well in life. Yeah, that I wasn't any much more inferior than them. Yeah, and so I eventually managed to get a GPA of 3.3 out of 4.
Wow, at
the end of year 4.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Means you did a lot to pull your grades up.
I did because I was just very sick and tired of drifting and just doing my own things. Yeah, and I realized that if I didn't put my effort in and I didn't put the time and energy into studies, I would actually compromise on JC and possibly my uni life. Yeah.
So after 4 years, you went to JC?
Yeah, so after my first 4 years, I managed to go into JC and my goal was actually to get a 3.2 out of 4 GPA because that is the minimum criteria that you need to get to study 4 H2s subjects in JC.
Okay. So again, if you fall lower than 3.2, what does it mean?
If I fall lower than 3.2, I think I would be very disappointed myself. Yeah, because back then I saw that actually my friends and peers I think being in RI itself, it gave, the people there were very competitive. So a lot of people wanted to excel, they wanted to do well. And I guess that drove me at the same time. Yeah, so that drove me to also want to be successful individually. And then at the end of the day, I decided that, you know, if 3.2 was my goal, I have to hit 3.2 out of 4 so that I could take 4 H2 subjects in JC. And because I can take those subjects, I can also do the courses that I want to do in university.
Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of things went right for you, even though it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Like in year 2, you were at your lowest, and after that, everything started to pick up. And how was JC like for you generally?
JC life was quite smooth sailing. I would say I'm not the smartest person, but I am a hard worker. So normally RI is a very tough school to be in. So I had to do a lot of catching up, had to work very hard when exams came about. Yeah, and I think year 1, because everyone, you know, the girls came into RJC, right? So everyone were just playing around, they were all having fun. And me and my group of friends, we also weren't doing very well. Yeah, I think it was the same story as back when I was in secondary school, where only in year 2, I decided to lock in and decided, hey, actually, this is the time to focus. Yeah, and there's not time to play around anymore because my uni is at stake. Yeah, so in secondary school, I said, oh, JC is at stake. Then JC, closer towards A levels, I said, oh, university is at stake. So I decided to focus, and I scored enough to enter my dream course, which is NUS Business. Yeah.
Nice, congrats. And during this period of time, it seems like you use this word locked in. So locked in means what? Means you focus a lot more. And when you say work hard, can you help us visualize what is working hard? Like what? Study 10 hours a day? I mean, I don't know because I haven't been to a school like that, nor do I have a lot of friends from RI, Hwa Chong.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say I'm the smartest person in the room. Naturally, I mean, my PSLE score was way lower than the others, right? And so what I had to do was to catch up. And there are days where I would stay in school. In RI, we had this study area called the Wishing Well. Yeah. So I would be there with a can of Red Bull and I'll be studying till maybe 8, 9 p.m. Yeah, in my JC days. And sometimes after CCA also, I would go there to study late at night. I'm pretty sure there was one day I studied overnight. Yeah, till the next day where I had school again. So that was the effort that I had to put in to catch up to my peers and to at least show them that, you know, I have what it takes to be here. And that actually, despite me coming from I wouldn't say like a worse background, yeah, but as someone who isn't as quote unquote smart as they are, that I could still, with the right environment and the right attitude, get to where, you know, some of these people are heading to. Yeah.
I think it's a good point you brought up in a sense where people always compare hard work versus talent. When you have that natural talent, it does not mean that you also succeed. Yeah. Because if you don't use and capitalize on that talent, it will also go to waste. Whereas one way to really guarantee that success, I would say in any industry, is putting in the hours. Because once you put in the hours and effort, naturally you will progress. So now you're in NUS, how's life? I mean, I can imagine that it will be quite different from RJC, right?
Yeah. I think being an NUS student studying business, it's a lot more, generally it's a lot more chill as compared to the JC days that I was once in. I think a lot of things here are more hands-on, a lot of things are more group project, a lot more presentations, and there's a lot more working with people. In JC, you could excel, you know, being by yourself. You could excel just grinding out the 10-year series, just doing the papers back and forth continuously and just checking your answers. Yeah, I think in business, in NUS, it trains us to understand people a lot more. Yeah, not just understanding people, but also being able to work with people and, you know, to put yourself out there in class. Yeah, it's very important, I think, in uni to have friends. Yeah, to have friends who you can group together with, to get support when it comes to group work and group projects and assignments. Yeah, I would say that's the main key difference. But otherwise, So far in my 2 years in uni has been quite smooth sailing. Yeah, I would say my grades are doing pretty well. I've been juggling it with work pretty well as well. Yeah.
So outside academics, are you involved in any school council, CCAs, leadership roles?
Yeah, so I'm staying in hall. So in NUS, we have 6 different halls, and I'm staying in Cambridge Hall now. Last year, I had the privilege of being the block head for one of the blocks. Yeah, so that role involves planning activities for the block. That role involves bonding the entire block, and even being the common face that people can come to when they need help. Yeah, so that leadership role on top of school gave me this uni life that people always talked about back in JC. Yeah, and I took on a role because I wanted to, make more friends. Yeah, at the same time, I also had the responsibility in, helping plan these events and executing these events. So this role actually was pretty hard for me to juggle alongside academics. Yeah, because I entered hall wanting to make new friends and to, bond with more students. Yeah, but at the same time, the role of a block head also can be quite serious. We have to execute events, we have to plan events, and at the end of the day, there are KPIs that need to be hit. Yeah, there's budget to be tracked. There are people that we have to answer up to. For example, like the professors in KR. So being able to juggle that while being able to maintain a friendly image was challenging, but I found that it was quite fulfilling because at the end of the day, I made a lot of friends, and I believe I led by example. Yeah.
So all these experiences through your life, I'm sure it has helped you to bring you to where you are today, right, in this career as well. So what got you started in financial advisory? How was it like for you when you first started?
So this is a long story. Yeah. So when I first heard about financial advisory, it was in my NS days. Yeah. So personally, I'm someone who is an advocate of self-development. So during my NS days, I realized that there was a lot of downtime. I could do a lot of things with my time, and a lot of people spent it just lying on the bed and using their phone.
Yeah.
So playing games. Yeah. So I decided to upskill myself. Back then, I was very heavily into investing and trading, and I was taking on technical analysis courses. I was working on a Web3 and some crypto projects. So when I asked my brother, who knows me the best, right, I asked him, hey, Cor, what should I possibly do? What more can I do with my life? And he said, actually, why not you try FA? And that was how I got into contact with you, Caleb. Yeah. I realized that I align very much with you, and I realized that there are things about the career that made sense for me. Yeah, besides the income potential, I also enjoyed the flexibility of it and the autonomy of it. Yeah, if today my mom wants me to send her to the airport, I will be able to also. Yeah, and on top of that, I also realized that my existing skill sets aligned very well with the career itself, because back in NS, I was doing all this investment. I was reading up on all of this investment stuff. And a lot of my NS peers were also asking me for advice and opinions. Yeah. So I thought, actually, why not put some time and energy into this career and see where it takes me? Yeah. And why not leverage my existing skill sets on a career that could potentially be a long-term one in the future? Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned a lot of upsides and your current skill sets that really can help you elevate your position in this career. I'm sure there are challenges. When you come in, I'm sure it's not smooth sailing, right? So perhaps could you share with us what was the top challenge that you faced as a first-year consultant?
I would say coming into the career, my number one challenge was stigma. Yeah, because coming from a rather quote-unquote prestigious school, all people ask me, hey Ryan, why did you choose to join this career? You had pretty decent grades. You could get into a pretty good university, a pretty good course. Why do you choose to, they would say, give all that up for this career? Yeah, and so when I first started a career, I did have my reservations. I did think about, could there be more for me? Why do people around me, have this stigma of financial advisors in Singapore? Yeah. But I decided to explore more, and the more I did my work, I realized that actually I'm still able to provide value to my clients and my friends. Yeah. I realized this stigma that people have against the industry happens because of, perhaps some black sheeps in the past who might have missold or were pushy with their intentions. Yeah. But I realized that as I continue on this career, if I was someone who was genuine and sincere, actually my friends and family, they are okay and very, very happy to listening to what I have to say.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as I'm able to value add to them, and as long as I remain competent, I realize that actually there's no problem with the stigma, because that makes me stand out even more. Yeah, and on top of that, actually I was just doing a project recently in school, and I was looking at the literacy rate of Singapore, and it's just a straight line graph like this. Yeah, so I realized as Singaporeans get more and more literate, the traditional FAs who used to do their sales tactic, who used to push products and used to hard sell a bit more, that method won't work in today's time. Yeah, so I made it a point in my career to constantly be upskilling myself to be competent, such that when I meet my friends and loved ones, that I'm actually able to value add to them during the time that I get to speak to them. Yeah.
I really second that, because when some consultants want to join our firm, they normally ask us how do we acquire our clients. And I share with them that we normally do warm. 99% of us, we do warm. Because exactly what you said, as Singaporeans become more educated, do you think really someone will pick up a cold call and entertain that call for 15-20 minutes, right? And also for a roadshow, would more people stop by in a roadshow to understand more about solutions, or do you think people already reach out to their network, people that they know, right, to have that chat? So I think moving forward 3, 5, 10 years from today, the warm market will maybe be the only market, right, that really capture people effectively. So therefore, whatever you say, I completely agree. And that stigma, if you do things right, in fact, it could help you create a better positioning amongst your peers. And from there, word will spread, for the better. So stigma seems to be one of the biggest one for you, especially you came from a relatively quote-unquote prestigious background. Apart from stigma, any major challenges, or is that it?
I think another one definitely is time management. So time management for me was a very, very big problem, because I had a lot of commitments last year. Yeah, so on top of being in uni, I have to juggle family also. I had to juggle hall, had to juggle my friends. Yeah, and of course, being the blockhead was just a whole lot of responsibilities on top of my career itself. Yeah, so it wasn't easy going about all this and going about achieving my MDRT. Yeah, so I would say what allowed me to have good time management is I managed to segregate my time according to my commitments that I have. Yeah, so last year I allocated 3 days for school. So 3 very long days. Most people have 4 or 5, but I condensed it into 3 days, and I have 3 days of work. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I'll have school. Thursday, Friday, Saturdays I'll be working, and Sunday is my family or rest day. Yeah, and I also believe in this theory or idea called the Parkinson's law, which states that actually work expands to fill the time given for its completion. That means today, if I have a task that maybe a professor gave me a project to complete in 2 months, but actually if I give myself maybe 2 to 3 weeks, I will be able to finish it as well. Yeah, and with even possibly more focus than if I were to drag it on for 2 months. Yeah, so that was the mindset that I had when I planned out my time, and I made sure that for tasks that are of lower priority, I would give myself a tighter timeline and give myself less time to do it, such that I am sort of forced to finish it faster. And actually that gave me a lot more focus when it comes to completing these tasks also.
This is a law that I use a lot of times in my life. It's a 80-20 rule, is also what you said, right? If the task requires 5 minutes for me to do, Why not just get it done and over with, compared to procrastinating for 5 days, and after that, then you still have to attend to the tasks. Right, so likewise, one of the strategies that I use for myself is to set deadlines. Like back then when I was a student, when the submission was, let's say, end of the month, by second week, I would have already submitted the assignment, because that was the deadline I give myself. And I'm always submitting before the timeline, where most people, they scramble at the very last minute. They finally sprint at the very last minute to get over and make sure they hit the deadline. Yeah, so that's something that has helped me, and seems like it has helped you also to achieve an MDRT. Great. So I'm sure in this career you have, from introduction, you have spoken to students, professionals, even pre-retirees. Across your short span of time in this career, are there any client stories or experiences that really impacted you as an advisor?
I think there's one. Honestly, I feel like this story has nothing much to do on my end, but for some reason, the client was very grateful. So I recently met a referral, so one of my friend's mom. She's a single mom. So nothing out of the ordinary, I just went down, meet her, and I helped her do up a policy summary because she was worried that she was paying too much in insurance premiums. And after doing all that, I actually managed to restructure some of her older policies and to use that to help her get a retirement annuity, such that she can get more passive income by the time she's ready for retirement. Yeah, and just that simple act, and I think maybe it was the way that I bonded with her, or maybe it's the way that she felt comfortable trusting me with her policies. She realized that actually, the work that we do is very important, because she told me this. She said, Ryan, if I had met you earlier, maybe I wouldn't have paid so much money for some of these older policies that are not so relevant. Yeah, and eventually I managed to take over from her previous AIA client. It's just the simple words that she said, and things like, the part where she said, what if I met you earlier, maybe I wouldn't have spent so much money, and she told me she was eternally grateful for what I've done. And so it's just these simple words of gratitude that I felt, actually the work that we do has actually a huge impact on clients' lives. And that it's important that we do things properly, such that they have a good retirement, and that their planning is done well for themselves and their loved ones. Yeah.
It feels that the experience gave you that affirmation of the work we do. Sometimes this industry is tough in a sense where everybody demands your time, demands your energy. When clients talk to you, most of the time is on a claim matter, is on a premium matter, is on a question basis. And I would say, generally speaking, consultants are also underappreciated. And sometimes when clients do things like that, right? Give you some compliments, or sometimes they ask you to their home, they cook for you, or they go overseas, they buy you things. I think it's very nice, because month on month, like some festive seasons are coming out, and we spend good amount of money to service our clients. And sometimes when we send all these gifts out, many a times we don't even receive a thank you. So, as you say that, I also feel that it takes two hands to clap, from an advisor to a client relationship. So today out there, if you are listening to this and you're a client, I also hope that you can appreciate whoever that is servicing you, because it's not easy. There are 1001 things that we have to do as advisors to make sure that your policies are in good hands, and also your financial planning is on the right track. And if you can appreciate your advisor more, I'm sure they'll also go above and beyond and give the best for you. Yeah, so for yourself, Ryan, there are many advisors out there. So what do you think makes you different from the rest of the world?
I would say I am someone who is competitive in a way where I am driven to excel. Always wanting to be the best in the things that I do. I would say I'm someone who is reliable. That means when you throw me a task, you'll get it done. And I would say I'm also someone who is resilient. Yeah, resilience. You can throw me any challenges, and at the end of the day, I will try my best, and I will get through it as well. Yeah. I think most importantly, the number one strength I have would be that I'm reliable. Yeah, so through school, through NS, and even in my career, I think people know that if they have any problems or issues, they can come to me for help. And even in NUS business, I have several friends. During classes, they will ask me for notes, and they will ask me for advice, on how to possibly get to do this project. Yeah, and recently taking on the role of an OGL, I took on the role of an OGL in a few business camps, and now they're also freshies asking me, to teach them, to be their academic coach, to guide them through the different modules that they have to take in year one. Yeah, and I think this reputation that I've built for myself, that people know me to be, which is I am someone who is reliable.
Great. I think honestly, if I'm not in the career today, if I were really to pick an advisor, I really need someone that is dependable. Not just, even today I'm a consultant and I work with many different salespeople, whether is it a property agent or whether is it someone that takes care of me, even a doctor. I need somebody that really knows what they're doing and they are really dependable. Because the last thing I need is scrambling around to find answers and people going MIA. Yeah, so this is a very important trait to have as a consultant, especially when we deal with sensitive information like finances. Great. So at the same time, Ryan, I also know that you're building a team. Can you share with me, in terms of team building, what are some visions that you have? What kind of team would you like to build one day?
I think this can be simplified into two words. So cohesive and successful. So my team currently, I have a team of 6, and my vision for them is to be a very tight-knit family. At the same time, tight-knit in a sense where we support each other when things are not going so well. And at the same time, when things are going well, we also know how to enjoy and celebrate. So sort of like a work hard, play hard kind of vibe. Yeah, and I would say the culture that I want to have for them is, so I think it's important to not just be there for them, in terms of work, but also be there for them in terms of personal life, and to just all in all create like this community of like friends, and some may even call it brotherhood. But yeah, there are also girls in my team lah. Yeah.
Nice. So where do you see yourself in, let's say, 3 years after you have well graduated from NUS?
I think 3 years from now, life will look a lot different. Yeah, I foresee myself going down the management path a lot more. I see myself as a director, probably managing a team of about 40 to 50 associates. And this team of 40 to 50 associates must be one that's cohesive and at the same time successful, and must be a team that can help one another out, more like a community of close-knitted friends. Yeah, at the same time we also learn to work hard, at the same time also play hard. Yeah.
You mentioned a lot about friends, like building a team where it's close-knit. So I throw you a challenge. In life, we don't get along well with everyone. I'm sure in your block, in your school days, it's bound to have people that have different or differing opinions. So one day when you have different individuals coming together and they don't work well together, then how do you make sure that it's still cohesive?
I think the answer to this question, I think there are a lot of answers to this question. Personally, if we have people in the team that are of, probably differing personalities, I will be the middleman. I will be the mentor to help them and guide them. If they do fit into the team, they'll be the best. If they don't, perhaps it might be wise to, bring in people that are also similar to this group of individuals. Yeah, and perhaps I think within the team itself, as the team grows bigger, it is bound to happen for differing groups to form.
Yep.
Yeah, there are gonna be people who are a bit more introverted. There are gonna be people who, are a bit more extroverted and like to perhaps, do their own activities by themselves. Yeah, and I think that's the inevitable. But as the one who is managing the team, it is best for me to be the middleman of it all and to be the common face that people can rely on and to reach out to in the event where there are any, differing personalities or differing opinions. Yeah.
So essentially, you are like really a cornerstone in the team, where you can support everyone from every possible angle. But that also means that you have to be available all the time. And honestly, that is one of the pitfalls of being a leader. To be frank, being in my leadership, through my leadership journey, people think it's easy. Like, oh, this guy just comes to office, do some work, do some coaching, and call it a day. Yeah, and one of the things that really challenges us is that we have to think from many angles. Like, how can we at the same time help everyone? Because different people have different problems, some personal, some professional problems. Some have discipline issues, some have, it ranges all the way. At the same time, I have also to deal with my personal problems, right? Your personal problems, and perhaps even family, our loved ones. We have to give time to them. So we are stretched in many different directions. And so it's a very tough role to be in, if you ask me. And priority management, I think what Ryan shared and different speakers from the different episodes also shared, is that it becomes even more crucial, right? Priority management, which I will share in depth in another episode. But going back to Ryan, okay, good. So you mentioned a bit more about how you'll be like, right, in your team, and you focus on successful and cohesiveness. You've spoken a bit about cohesiveness. Maybe can you share with us, what do you mean by successful? Because success means differently to different person.
Personally, when I joined the career, success meant, being able to earn a lot of money, being able to provide for my family, being able to travel, buy luxury items. Today, maybe success has a different meaning to it. Yeah, I think through this career, besides the income itself, I actually found that I've grown a lot as an individual. So self-development is something that I always advocate since my NS days. And I would find it fulfilling for my team, to be able to develop themselves, to find that, 6 months ago before I joined this industry, right, I was a very, very different person. And now 6 months later, I'm actually a lot more proud of who I am today. Yeah, of course, success is different to different individuals, but I would love to have a team that focuses on building on themselves, be it hard skills, to being able to talk, soft skills from communication to being able to connect with clients better, and to even having a more mature and broader outlook in life. Yeah, and I believe that is a form of success that I value. And I would say maybe another form of success would be having that work-life balance. Yeah, so personally, I love traveling. Yeah, and I would love for my associates and my team, to not just continuously work, but also on top of their work success, also be able to find some form of leisure and to be able to balance that work and life that they both have, that they all have. Yeah.
Actually, work-life integration is very much possible in this career. Why? Because at the start of your few years, you are acquiring clients. And after a while, if you service them well, naturally they will come back to you for more advice. And along the way, they could refer you a few clients. And that is also because you have built that trust within them. Right? So I think this whole idea of like success, I read from this book, and this definition is success is a progressive realization of a predetermined worthwhile goal. That goal must be worthwhile. And it's a progressive realization, it's not a destination. Like for example, some consultants will tell me that once they achieve MDRT, they get like lost because they feel that, oh, now I'm there, what's next? Yeah, then on the 1st of January, when the clock resets and their production goes to 0, then they'll be thinking, okay, what's next again? Yeah, so that's why it's a progressive realization, and as long as you're growing, which is what you mentioned, as long as you're growing and you never stop growing, you're better than the day before, then this is where you may find more fulfillment. Okay, Ryan, the last question I have for you is out there, if there is another student who is listening to this that's thinking, is FA something for me? Right, because around them there are a few peers that is joining the industry. What advice do you have for this group of people?
Okay, I would say just like how it is dating a girl, you have to shoot your shot. Yeah, and in AWM we have an exploration process whereby we let candidates and friends who might want to explore the career figure out more about what this entire career is about. Yeah, at the same time, who we are, what we do, and what this industry is about as a whole. Yeah, so similar to dating a girl, you don't want to just go straight into marrying them. Yeah, this exploration process will give them a clear understanding of, perhaps what they are signing up themselves for. Yeah, and it's a dating phase. Yeah, so not asking anyone to marry them, so you don't have to go straight into marriage. Yeah, but when you meet a girl and you perhaps is curious as to whether they might be the right one, then of course go and date them first. Yeah, so that would be my advice.
So how long can this dating process take?
This dating process can take between 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah, everything is OT, is very non-committal. It's a very low committal relationship. Yeah, and through this you'll be able to figure out a lot about the purpose of why we do what we do and why we even do this in the first, what we even do in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to what Ryan mentioned, we devised this entire process such that one can understand more about this industry before they even take papers. Because traditionally, you would take your papers, you will get your license first before you enter in this industry. And the problem is when you enter in this industry, some of them don't know what they have signed up for. So they try for a few months, they talk to the whole world, let them know that they are advisors, then after that, 3 months later, they quit. So precisely because of that, it adds on to the stigma that, oh, people just come and go, then they change agent, then it gets very annoying for clients. Yeah, so when we devise this, the objective is to help the candidate understand the work that we do. At the same time, it's also for us to assess whether they are the right fit for the team and for the industry. Yeah, after that 3 to 4 weeks, like what Ryan has mentioned, if they are someone that is a good fit and they find that they are interested in this industry, then of course we will take them on to continue to start papers and we'll do coaching. Right? Typically, even once they start, we will have a probation period of 3 months. And should they not live up to certain standards, like for example, if their attitude is very poor, like after that, like they stop coming office, they stop attending trainings, then of course this is where we also flag them out. Right? However, the process at the start, the exploration process, will already give us a very good understanding of this candidate. Yeah, and we'll be very objective and transparent as to whether this is a career that you could do well in. Because at the end of the day, when you come in, we are also investing resources into you. Yeah, so this is the process that we have created that I would think really stands out from the rest of our competitors. Okay, thank you for your sharing the past 40 over minutes. Is there any final words of wisdom or advice that you want to give and share with the audience?
Yeah, so final words of advice is, if you're interested in the girl, date her, don't marry her. And that is our exploration process. Yeah, figure out more about the career first before even joining in the first place. And yes, thanks for watching.
Okay, thanks for your insights, Ryan. Thank you for viewing the past 40 minutes. Hopefully it has given you some insights on how Ryan's journey has been and the challenges that he has faced and how he overcame them. And I think it's a very inspiring story that he has shared. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. See you.
Thank you.